that Baelor, when he was a child, was wandering around one of the castles among the Fomerians owned, and he came to this door. And he heard this noise behind this door, and he couldn't figure out. He heard it was like chanting and so forth. And he looked in the keyhole, and just as he did, there was a big flash of light, and his one eye was destroyed. So he had one eye left, and it kind of migrated to the middle of his head. And as he grew, he became more evil, and he found out that this eye, this single eye, could be used to kill people, to destroy his enemies, and so forth. And when he grew to be a man, he became king of the Fomorians. Well, when he became king, he had a daughter, and there was word came to him that one of his descendants, particularly his grandson, would kill him one day. So he was obviously pretty distraught about this. So he locked his daughter in this glass castle, and so nobody could get to her. Well, he went out one day and he saw this cow who gave an unending supply of milk. So he decided he wanted this cow for himself. So he ended up stealing the cow from this farmer. Well, the farmer decided, well, he was going to get revenge on Baelor. So he figured out, with help from a fairy, how to get into this glass house where Baelor's daughter was. Well, of course, the results were that Baelor's daughter gave birth to triplets, which incensed Baelor to no end, and so he decided to have all three kids killed. Well, two of the babies were drowned, but the third one, a boy, was able to survive with help from the fairies, who spirited this boy to the Tuatha side, the good side. Anyway, as the boy grew, he became a mighty warrior. And one day, as he grew, he became the chief warrior of the people. And as a young man, it was his duty to lead the Tuatha into battles. And finally, the day came when the Fomerians and the Tuatha came together to fight. Now, the whole thing of this was that the Fomerians would put Baelor out front, and his eye, of course, was this destructive weapon, if you will. And he had ropes attached to it, and he had these servants who would pull up these ropes, and when the lid was raised, he could gaze at the enemy and they would be destroyed. So he went into battle, and he came out to challenge the Tuatha. And so they sent their challenger out, who happened to be his grandson, which he didn't know, of course. And when the time came to raise the island up, and just at that moment, Lou was the grandson's name. He slung a stone and hit him right in the eye, drove his eye out through the back of his head, and he looked at the Fomorians. And of course, they were all destroyed. Lou cut off his head, and that was the end of the Fomorians. Supposedly, the Tuatha won that battle. So, obviously, that's very much like David and Goliath, but